Hello, Arizona, and welcome to this episode of Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Jayson Bates, the lender who lives in and is a part of your community. If you'd like to reach out to the show, well, hey, as I say each and every podcast, you can do so by visiting my webpage at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. From there, connect with me on any social media platform. Would love to hear from you. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, please write that review, as it is one of the only ways that I have to help improve the show. If you're listening to this on Google Play Music or iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio, please write that review or send me an email. I've had several listeners email me here this past week, so thank you for doing that. I really do enjoy hearing from the listeners out there. Okay, so I want to kind of do a couple of different things here on this. And kind of go over just a couple things here. Yesterday was the O event here in Phoenix. And the O event, if you probably don't know this, if you're a realtor, you may know this. The O event is a big event that realtors kind of get together. And there are a lot of interesting, it's kind of a gathering of real estate agents. And it's not really a mastermind thing, but it is a gathering of real estate agents here locally that then can get familiar with lenders. There's booths there. It's kind of like a convention, if you will, for realtors. Small convention. Old Republic Title holds this event. It's a really good event. And so went to that yesterday. Very interesting seeing all the different people that are there. It's kind of a little bit of a reunion. A lot of the same people kind of go to those things. There's some very good stories there. And one of the things that I kind of came away with from this event, two things, actually. Number one, I met a listener there, which was fantastic. He came up to me. I was standing there checking my emails, and he came up to me, and I apologize. I don't remember his name. I know he works for a title company here locally. And he says, "Hey, you're Jayson Bates." Yeah, I'm Jayson Bates. "Oh, I recognize you from your podcast or whatever." So that was very, very cool. Number two, though, the second thing that I want to take away from yesterday is the technology portion of it. I met with a gentleman there who is a loan officer, still is a loan officer, but he's also doing a lot of these drones and drone videos for realtors that are out there. Now, I've not been a big proponent of drone video. It's kind of here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. The entry to get into and do drone videos is quite expensive, but he's doing a very, very nice job with drone videos, shooting them in 4K. Really doing them for high-end properties. It looks fantastic. So I've got to eat crow a little bit, I guess, because I didn't think they would be that. I didn't think they would have that big of a splash. Initially, they were a big deal. We haven't seen in the news as of recent, a lot of drone videos and drones and that sort of thing. But he's making a strong statement that drone videos can have a lasting impact on that. And as I've always said, video is very, very important to promote and distribute and, make people aware, if you will, of property. So if you're a listing agent out there listening to this, or you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home, video has a strong impact on your decision on purchasing a home. So those are two takeaways from that yesterday. Other than that, good speakers, good event, good seeing old friends. And so we'll move on at this point. Okay, so I want to get kind of really what this podcast or this episode is really all about, and that is 5 real estate trends that you should know about. Now, these are not only for the buyer when I read this article, but they're also for the realtor. There's a lot of things going on out there, a lot of rumors, if you will, for real estate agents. In our industry, how relevant are real estate agents? How important are they? That sort of thing. And so these trends that I came across, I think will speak volume to that. Before I get to that, though, before I get to these trends, I did come across an article here that was very interesting to me. And the article reads here, and it looks like it's, let me see. This was off the web here, so you really can't trust it. I'm trying to look for whoever this article was kind of posted for. It doesn't really say here, but it says easiest and hardest cities to get a mortgage in. Now, this was kind of interesting to me because I'm always hearing how difficult it is to get a mortgage. But this kind of broke it down to cities. And under fair lending, what caught my attention on this is under fair lending, there really shouldn't be one city that's easier or harder than another. Fair lending is fair lending across state lines. But it did kind of break it down on the average FICO score per the cities. So the easiest cities to get a mortgage, and mind you, this is something that is an average. Okay, this isn't. I don't want you to think that you have to have this type of FICO score in order to get a mortgage. Detroit is the number one easiest city to obtain a mortgage in, where the average FICO score is 728, and the average loan to value is 90%. So on average, most buyers in Detroit average a 728 credit score with 10% down. Miami, which is pretty surprising to me, Miami is second easiest city to get a FICO or to get a mortgage in with a 732 credit score with an average loan to value of 84%. Cleveland, number 3, average FICO 733, loan to value 88%. Las Vegas, kind of our sister city here to Phoenix, number 4, average FICO is 735 with an LTV of 88%. And San Antonio, Texas, average FICO score 736 with a loan to value of 90%. So all right around that 90% loan, 10% down loan to value. I can tell you here in Phoenix, at least from the business that I do, first-time home buyers, even second-time home buyers, a lot of those buyers are not putting 10% down. They're putting less than 10% down. Now, that's just my take on it. Which subsequently, I want to kind of read the hardest cities to get a mortgage in, which is number 1, and this is really of no surprise here, San Francisco. San Francisco, California, average FICO score 770 with a loan to value of 72%. So, I mean, your credit basically has got to walk on water, and you're putting an average of 28% down on a property. Now, I will say these statistics kind of coincide with the affordability of each city. San Jose, California, average FICO score number 2, hardest city to get a mortgage in, 766 with a loan to value of 74%. Oakland, California, average FICO score right there out of San Francisco, 762 with a loan to value of 77%. New York, number 4, no surprise, 759 credit score, average loan to value is 75%. In Los Angeles, California, average FICO score is 758 with an average loan to value of 78%. So if you kind of look at these cities, the more affordable cities, if you will, the cities that have more affordable housing, Detroit, Miami, Cleveland, even Las Vegas to an extent, San Antonio, they're some of the easiest cities to get a mortgage in. While the cities that have expensive real estate, the average medium income in San Francisco is $1,058,000 and $58,474. So it's over $1 million medium. That's the average sales price, which is just astronomical to me. Which is why you got to put so much money down on the jumbo financing. Very difficult to get a loan because you do have to pretty much walk on water. And you do have to have a large down payment down. So that was very interesting to me as far as the easiest and hardest cities to get a mortgage in. Again, here in Phoenix, I'm seeing a lot of first-time home buyers, very difficult to get money for down payment and save for money, which is what I've spoken to in past episodes here of this podcast, the Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show, about the affordability issues that we have in this country. And that's kind of proof in the pudding. I mean, with San Francisco, the average sales price is over $1 million. That's just ridiculous. And San Francisco, by the way, is the number one, the highest priced real estate market in the country. Okay, so let's get into some of these trends here real quick. Which the reason I said the things I did about the most expensive and easiest cities, hardest cities to get a mortgage in, are going to go right into these trends here. So there's a big drop in first-time home buyers, which I will say I'm not necessarily seeing a big drop here in Phoenix. It has leveled off quite a bit over the past year. I think that will continue. That trend will continue. I do think that there is a lot of misunderstanding or misinformation out there about how much money you do need to put down in order to purchase a home, and that goes right into first-time home buyers. Because a lot of I've read some recent articles that a lot of first-time home buyers believe you need to put 20% down in order to purchase a home. That's not the case. You don't need that much. You need as little as 3% down to put down, and even down payment assistance programs are out there. That's the purpose of this podcast, by the way, is to inform you, the consumer, as to what is out there for you when purchasing a property. So this big drop in first-time home buyers, it's not surprising to me, given the affordability issue, how difficult it is to save money as a first-time home buyer, raise a family. With rents as high as they are, it's even more difficult to save money right now because that's putting a squeeze on your disposable income. So really not surprising to me that first-time home buyers have dropped. I do think that that's going to hurt the market long term. We need to get more first-time home buyers out there. It's not that there's not enough of you out there, first-time home buyers. It's that you're not getting into the housing market, because once you get into the housing market, you get into an entry-level home, whether it be a condo, townhome, whatever, then you move up. And these sort of things have a natural progression in the housing market. And with a lack of first-time home buyers, that will trickle down in the next several years to a lack of second-time home buyers, which can eventually suppress some of the price points, especially in the second and move-up buyers, if you will. So, second one here, the internet is not replacing, and this goes out to realtors. Sorry, my nose is running there, but this is internet isn't replacing you, the realtor. Now, a lot of realtors, and there's a danger report that's out there. A lot of agencies have felt that the internet with Zillow and some of these other online real estate websites, Open Door, I think there's another one, they're Posted or something like that, that real estate agents feel that they may be replaced by technology. Now, I've made many mentions of technology and how it is going to put some pressure on realtors. But I don't think realtors are ever going to be replaced, but you are, as a realtor, are going to have to reorganize your business model and your business strategy. And this is for even buyers out there. If you're dealing with a realtor who doesn't embrace technology, you may be selling yourself short. So this is where I've told my agents and agents that I work with, you've got to embrace this technology. You've got to work with it. Don't fight it. It's coming. Just roll with it and use it and implement it in your business, and you'll be just fine. Number 3 here, home size hasn't increased that much. So this was very interesting to me, this trend here. You know, McMansions were a big deal in the early 90s. And then mid 2000s, whatever, a lot of people buying McMansions, right? They were going up everywhere. Then we saw this trend about 4 or 5 years ago, small houses, small apartments. In fact, there's an apartment complex down here in Central Phoenix that's going up that its footprint is not very big for the amount of units going into it. I think there's like 1,800 units or something like that going into this, and it's not a very big footprint as far as size. So they're kind of trending on that small, tiny homes kind of concept. But that really hasn't had a big impact on the actual size of what people want and what people are looking for. People still like their elbow room, which is, I like this. This is encouraging. I often would think if everybody's looking for tiny homes and there's a big trend on these tiny homes, then is that going to suppress the homes that are these McMansions that have these 5 bedrooms, offices and a bedroom for each child and all that sort of stuff? Would that suppress those values? It doesn't look like that is going to happen. It looks like most people are still looking for homes with elbow room. So, and it gives an example here. In 1981, the typical home was just 300 square feet smaller than it was last year in last year's survey. And these trends are from realtormagazine.com that you can kind of check out if you'd like. So really 300 square feet smaller from 1981 versus today or last year, not a very big difference. So that was pretty encouraging. Down payments are down. And this is where I was saying how this would tie into that first segment there about the most expensive and or easiest and hardest mortgages. National Association of Realtors first collected data on down payments in 1989 when the average monthly mortgage rate was 10.62. Holy moly, 10.62%. My dad always told me rates are cheap, right? We're dealing in the high threes, low fours right now. Back then, 10.62. Holy moly. At that time, buyers financed their home purchase with a 10% down payment. In the last two surveys, first-time home buyers put down around 6%. So what was happening in 1989? They were putting 10% down on average. Now, today, 6%. That, again, speaks to the affordability and how difficult it is to save for down payment. So really no surprise there. I've said over the past few weeks, over this year, I've seen a lot more need for down payment assistance than I've seen in a long, long time. So having that, that does not surprise me whatsoever, even with the low interest rates. And I've been saying this too for quite some time. I don't see interest rates going anywhere anytime soon because I don't know that we can afford to have interest rates. I mean, could the economy afford a 10% interest rate? I just don't think that could happen. And if we were at 10% as an interest rate, I think we'd have much bigger problems in housing. Now, the last one here, this, again, is really no surprise. I've seen this quite a bit. I've seen some Google studies on this, and you may be experiencing this yourself, which I think ties into what I've been saying, and that is home search is taking longer. Even though buyers now have technology, and this is what this article says here, even though buyers have technology in the world at their fingertips through the internet, of course, it's not making the home search process any faster. In fact, the average length of a home search was around 7 to 8 weeks from 1987 until 2007 and climbed to 10 weeks in the last 2 years. Now, I think this is attributed to a couple different things. Number one, I think the attitude toward real estate in this country has changed since the Second Great Depression, if you will. People are more in a buy and hold, and they're a little more picky about what they want. They don't want to get into something only to have to move 3 years later because they're going to outgrow that property, for example. Number two, I think it's taking longer because it's taking longer to save money for down payment. So that's taking more time. And then number three, I think people today are taking a lot more time to research their loan options, their property options, maybe even researching realtors in general. It's almost like we got too much information. You know, before you got your referral from your mom or dad for the realtor you want to use, you went with that. Couldn't really do a lot of research. If you did, you had to go to the library or something like that. And that just was inconvenient. So they just kind of went with, word of mouth, and that was it. Today, you get somebody's name and phone number, you go to the internet, you research them. And then you find out a neighborhood, you research that. You hear your friend talk about, down payment, or you're researching that. You're getting so much information thrown at you that it can be very, very confusing. And so letting that all settle within you and absorbing that can take some time. It can be a scary thing for sure. So I think that is also contributing to the longer time frame. So those are my three factors of why it's taking longer to purchase a home. Number one being that it's taking the attitude toward real estate is has changed. So with that being said, I think that hopefully that gives you some insight, both buyers, sellers, and real estate agents, as to what's happening out there in the real estate world. It is an ever-changing world for sure. So thank you for listening to this podcast over all the other podcasts that are out there. Hey, and I want to make a quick mention too. I am writing an article for Real Estate Agent Magazine. So if you're a real estate agent and you get that magazine, it should be coming out, I think, the end of October. Mid-November, end of November, it'll be coming out. It will be a monthly magazine. I am one of the article writers for that magazine, so pretty excited about that. The first episode, like I said, comes out in November. The next episode, I think, is going to come out, or next edition, is going to come out in January. So it's going to be it's going to skip a month at the beginning on the launch, but it will be coming out. So do look out for that, and look out for my article. So with that, happy house hunting, everybody. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please write that review, as it is one of the only ways that I have to help improve the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, as I do film this, please give me that thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends and family. I certainly would love the opportunity to earn your business. So until next time, happy house hunting, and I hope to see you out there shopping soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Jayson Bates, NMLS 220798, Mortgage Banking's license 1796, sound effects provided by soundj.com.